So I kind of wasted a bunch of time this morning and also yesterday. So I started prototyping that rendering API, and then I realized I'm basically conflating the problems that I have, because the primary reason for me to even have different vertex batches right now is that I want to be able to kind of sub a lot of data into the buffer and but issue the draw call later. That's what I was thinking. So the idea was like, oh, I want to draw lines for debugging, but I want to draw that after I've drawn everything else. But I want to be able to call that at any point in my code, right? So whenever I do any calculation, just throw this like draw line and boom, you got it, right? That's the idea. But so for that, actually a vertex batch is not even that sufficient, because you might have, like what if you want to draw stuff with transparency and have it sorted, right? Or what if you want to draw like sprites, or what if you want to draw a point and you want to draw a few lines and stuff like that. All that needs either some sort of ordering of the things in your buffer, or it needs changes in GL state, like switching a texture or calling some uniform change or something like that. And all of that means that you kind of need a separate vertex batch, if that's how you want to do it, where you want to like defer the actual draw call until later. Because, well, you can't have things in the same vertex batch that expect different draw calls with like different states, right? So what I really need here is actually a thing to abstract my drawing for debug. And I want to have this debug draw that has its state kind of globally available, at least to itself, and then all the other users of this API will just call like, okay, draw line, draw this, draw that, and then in the end I would actually call like draw debug data, right? And I could also have different things I want to kind of have debug data for. Maybe some stuff I want in world space, and then I need to kind of do this under this camera transform. Others might be in screen space, right? And all that, it could just be part of that and abstracted away and kind of hidden away and forgotten about, right? I don't really need to change my rendering API. And I mean, it is interesting, and I think it's a good thing to do, to experiment with that. But my problem is that I'm not really stretching the definition, or like the system that I'm designing rather. So it's like, there's no point. I'm not actually testing it out, whether my experiment is going to be successful or not, Like, for example, even the system that I have already made, this one with the vertex batches, it was already kind of a waste of time, to be honest. Because I ended up, like, I had this idea of different vertex batches, but I realized that it's actually the best to just use one anyways, which is my default vertex batch. So at that rate, there's no point to any of this. So if I had a more complex use scenario, then maybe, yeah, like it would be... If I had a more complex use case, then I would at least be able to see, is this a good design or not? And here I'm not. So I think let's stop wasting any more time dilly-dallying with these rendering APIs and stuff, and let's just do this, because honestly I kind of went into it this morning and I wasted like probably an hour, and I kept realizing, oh, there's more and more resistance to this, design wise and implementation wise, and I just like ended up scrapping all of that. Anyways, without further ado, let's just do this. Right? So, debug draw. So this is the kind of API, API that I want to have. So I want to have like draw a line, or I don't know, should I? I'm overthinking everything so much. Yeah, okay, fuck it, let's just call it draw line. Or maybe let's do draw line. Just because I feel, you know, like I usually say draw, which means like draw it right away. Issue the actual draw call. Well, here it's going to be different. And like in terms of the API, I actually just want like v2 start, v2 end, and I guess maybe color. And this won't be any like fancy line. I guess it could become that eventually. And that's, I guess, even more of a reason why I want to have this system. If I want to have any fancier rendering, like if I want to have like lines with like smoothing, you know, like smoothing the corners and stuff like that, for like the path, for example, how it is in RimWorld, then I mean, I guess I wouldn't be debug drawing then, but like it could be useful for debugging too. So what that means is that I define the line, but the actual rendering of a line will be more complicated. Okay, so and even here, like we could define a default color. Like I just want this to be as simple and just directly usable in any code as possible. So there's no resistance to including any debug visualization or anything like that. And I think there's kind of two things I can think of right now: draw point and draw line. Okay, which I want to have in here. And what that means is that I need to have some kind of global state here. Debug draw state. Probably. Wait. DB state. Probably will be a pointer. Probably shouldn't be in the header, but like I just do this. Yeah, probably you don't need honestly any of these things here. Let me just copy this. H. Right, and then here we'll be referencing this stuff. I also want void ddraw init. And then I guess ddraw itself. It probably won't. Oops. Probably won't stay as that. But I guess for that we can grab an arena. And then I can do memory arena push struct. And that's equal to dd state. And then let's also save the arena itself in there. In case we need it later. Also, now that I think of it, with an arena it could be nice to just maybe even have a linked list of these things. So like when you call draw line, I was thinking obviously of doing like an array and then doing a count or whatever, but then, you know, we have limited sizes, we have all of that stuff, and like having to deal with that, having to expand that number if needed. Actually, this is kind of nice, I do gotta say. So like then we're just limited by the size of the arena. Which honestly, my arena stuff also can be expanded a lot. And you know, it could like grow automatically, or maybe even reserve more space without committing. Yeah, so I think I'll do that. So basically the idea is, well, I guess let's just see. Okay, so basically I can have like ddraw or dd line. And we can have v2 start and end. We can have the color, and we can have an X pointer. And for dd point, I can just do that point and color. And then in the state we can have dd line lines and dd point pointer points. I can also store the reference to the arena itself. And then basically I want to like push stuff on there here. So if I say ddraw point, I want to access my dd state, right? And I want to push a struct onto that arena. I guess one question is, how do I clear it out? And I think I just cleared out every frame. Like that's pretty simple. So I basically bring my I just bring my arena pointer to 0. But like this would be a pointer to a place in the arena. Now this thing itself is stored in the arena too. Like I could freeze the arena here, for example. So after we've done our drawing, we can unfreeze. But then what we'll also have to do is clear out these pointers. But even if we don't clear out these pointers, like this is just going to point to a place in the arena that is invalid. I mean, obviously that shouldn't be the case. So we do want to zero it out. But what like in here will be just zeros. Or I mean, there won't be zeros, but it will also be invalid. Which if we zeroed on kind of unfreezing it, it would be zeros, right? So yeah, I think just freeze here and then unfreeze after I've drawn, basically. Okay, memory arena push struct, blah blah blah. Yeah, so I'm pushing a struct for a DD point, right? And I save this into GD state points eventually. For now, I can just say this is my point. Oh yeah, and the reason I thought about this is I was thinking about free lists, whether I want to have a free list of lines and points, but no, because it's going to be like add, draw, and get rid of everything. Right, so then I do point next equal to this, and then this equal to point next. Right, so I just put that on top of that linked list. And I think that's okay. Of course, I need to actually populate the specification of the point. Right? And then I can do the same basically for drawing a line. So this is a DD line, push struct, DD line, we got start, yeah, still have color, we got end. And of course all of that is a line. Okay, so something along those lines. And then draw. So right now I think everything I'll be doing is going to be in world space. So it will be called in that between the camera mode stuff. right? But eventually I guess it could be not for that, and in that case it might become different. But yeah, in that case, like I might need actually different sets of lines and stuff. And this is where it kind of becomes iffy, because right now it's like a very nice independent system. But as soon as we get to that, like we might even have, I don't know, different spaces. You know, like we have, I don't know, maybe like a mini map that is also drawn, and you could draw lines in that mini map. You know, it's kind of nasty. I mean, there are things you could do to kind of unify that. Like you could even just save a camera as part of debug draw state, and then when you pass a line, you like specify whether you want to use that, and you transform the point like on the CPU. But oh, that's so nasty. I think not. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Plus, there aren't actually that many use cases as I'm trying to make it out to be. And we could just have multiple states, right? Anyways, I'm thinking way ahead. Come on. So in drawing, we basically want to do everything pretty much almost the same as something like this, right? I could literally, okay, maybe not like that. Something along these lines. Okay, so we don't want to freeze, and I think it's fine to do this on the same arena. Right, so already in the end here, I will unfreeze, which means we revert the pointer in the arena to the place where it was when we called freeze. So it means we're gonna start reusing all that state, or sorry, all that data, or all that space for data. Yeah, so then this is what I want to do here. I want to specify my vertex positions and vertex colors. And I'll want to do this basically for both points and lines separately. So I guess I can do like draw lines here and start with that. So I pretty much want to do all of that in here. So the number of vertices will be, so we need, it would be good to count them. I don't want to have to loop through them every time. So I can just do int line count and int point count. So here vert count will be line count times 2, and index count, I guess, will also be equal to vert count. I don't know, can I not do indices right now? I don't think I can. Doesn't matter, let's just do indices. So we have positions, and yeah, these have to be v3s, v4 for colors, all that stuff. So that's going to use dd state arena. Don't need all that craziness. Oh yeah, and whenever we add a new point, let's do dd state point count plus plus, and the same for line count. So we do all that, and then I'm gonna go through all of the lines. So I do dd line equals to dd state lines, and while line is not equal to null, I do something, and then I say line equals to line next. So what is it that I'm doing? Well, I'm going to set the positions at verts added equal to v3 line start. Colors at verts added is going to be get color v4 line color, and then I want to increase verts added and do it again for the end of the line. Okay. And then I guess I can just do indices at indices added will be equal to verts added before we increased it, right? So the index will be the same as that. Oh yeah, and I need to increase indices added. Right, and like that we go through all lines, then we assert that that's equal, and then we sub everything and we draw. I think that's pretty much it, except of course this is what I'll have to expand. And I'll have to specify draw mode here. I think what I can do is set draw mode something like that, and I can have it would be nice to kind of have like push and pop. But it's kind of annoying. I think I will just so I want to have like, let's find a place for this function. I guess like here. Set draw mode. I guess I can have sav draw mode. Whoa, I have all this. Let's get rid of this. And I guess I can switch on draw mode here and then say case sub draw triangles. Then I do GL state draw mode equals GL triangles. Let me see, what other modes are there? Alright, so I pretty much want lines and points, right? I don't remember if I can just do that. I think I can. And I guess later I can implement pop and stuff. But here I can just do this and be like sub draw lines. And after that, go back to drawing triangles. The only thing is, I need to specify that enum. Where did I put it? I guess somewhere here. Right here. So let's see, I want this to be an enum. Okay. And then when I do my drawing, I'm gonna use GL state draw mode. See, do I call GL draw anywhere else? No. Okay, I think that's that. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. So let's draw lines. And then I can call draw points as well. And then unfreeze. So draw points. Word count will be exactly equal to, wait, I need to get this from DD state. Yeah, so this will be DD state point count index count equals to vertex count. And we push positions, colors, indices, and here we're just going through points. And then there's only one. So it will be point, point, and point color. And this will be point equals point next. And the draw mode should be points. Something like that. Okay, something like that. And then this is API func. API func. API func. This is internal func. Internal func. And this is API func. Okay. And then what I can do is in surmond.cpp, inside this camera mode, after everything else, I want to call ddraw. And before we start our loop, I want to do ddraw init. Game state, let's say debug render arena. Why not make a new arena for that? I guess I don't even need to reference it, so I'll just do memory arena will be equal to alloc arena. Yeah, let's say 4 megabytes as well. And then I pass a pointer to it. I don't need to keep it in my game state. Okay, and then okay, so I think I just wanna so that's if pressed. Okay, fine, let's just do if mouse down, or I guess I have the target here already. Oh no, I can't. Okay, fine. Fine. If mouse down, STL button left. Let's just grab the pixel position. No, we will have a pixel. Wait. So that would have to actually be world space, but pixel position, not tile position, which may or may not be a problem. But let's say that if I'm holding my mouse, I mean, if I'm holding my mouse, then I want to draw a point at target in white. Oh boy. I need to actually include this stuff, debug draw.h here, and debug draw.cpp here. Point. Oh. Okay. So let's see if it works. Okay, so let's just do this real quick. Let's do if dd state line count is greater than 0, then draw line. Oh my god, I'm so bad at typing today. Draw init. Did I call that? I called it. I did call it. Come again. Oh. Oh no, never mind. What? Okay. So I think arena pointer is different. What the hell did I do? Oh, wait. If I, okay, so if I, okay, so if I store only the pointer, it needs to point somewhere, doesn't it? So this should be on game state. For now, at least. We can decide what's actually right later. Nope, still the same. $0.38. So it's pointing to the same place. Freeze count is that. Oh. Oh, I'm stupid. Right, so I can do that in the draw init. I mean, it's not really a problem. I just haven't really used my arena like that before, but I want to like not freeze it, but like set the pointer back to a specific point in the arena. But okay, I think for now I can leave it at that. I'm gonna try to do another session in the afternoon, so I can look into solving all the issues then. So yeah, that's it.